A cowboy's a man with guts and a horse. A cowgirl is strong-willed and independent. Have a tilt of your Stetson for ones who love the freedom of a wide-open range. You with the dusty jeans, dirty boots, and rough heads. Turn off the radio, let the tailgate down. It's a Western life, and for me, it's all I need.
Howdy y'all, and welcome back to High Noon. Today we'll be talking about the men, the myths, the legends, the raccoon skin cap wearing mountain men, meaning any of the pioneers of the North American Rocky Mountain West, who went to that region first as fur trappers, attracted by the beavers and virgin streams. Trappers became the explorers of the far west. The most experienced trappers were the French, who were joined by American and Spanish fur traders in the early 19th century. St. Louis was an important base for them for trading groups and trading caravans. Mingling extensively with the Indians, the mountain men adopted many of their manners of life and their beliefs, as well as their love and adornment for their summer rendezvous, especially at Green River in present-day Wyoming. In an institution of the mountain men combining trade with recreation, as permanent settlers arrived, many mountain men served as scouts and guides, but their way of life was gradually eliminated by advancing civilization. Well, that was the mountain men. We'll talk about their gear after the break.
Hey, you. Do you not like to touch dirt? Well, come down to Dirt Touchers. We'll touch dirt for you. Woo-hoo! Ain't that right, Cletus?
Oh, that's right, boy. Dirt tastes is good. It's crunchy.
No, Cletus. Dirt's for touching, not for eating.
Sorry, Bobby.
Just come down to Dirt Touchers. We'll move your dirt. Just call 1-800-DIRT-TOUCHERS.
Look, Bobby, I found a worm. It's wiggly.
Gone darn it, Cletus. There. Man, there's something wrong with that boy.
Welcome back. Now let's talk about the gear the mountain men would have had. The mountain men would carry a gun and ammunition, pistol or a rifle, tomahawk, traps to hunt and catch beaver, a sharp skinning knife, and usually a larger Bowie-style knife for protection and everyday tasks. Some sort of fire-starting kit would always be carried as well. Now that we've talked about the gear, let's talk about one of the more famous mountain men. Born John Coulter first answered the call of the West in 1804 when he took off on a journey to the Pacific Ocean and back as part of Lewis and Clark's famed Corps of Discovery. 2 years in the wilderness was more than enough for most of the expedition's members, but as they made their way home in 1806, Coulter decided to shun civilization and strike out on a career as a fur trapper. He soon established himself as one of America's original mountain men, and may have been the first white man to lay eyes on the Yellowstone National Park. A section of Wyoming's Shoshone River even became known as Coulter's Hell for his descriptions of its geothermal activity. Coulter was once wanted while fighting alongside Crow and Flathead tribesmen. The most legendary chapter in his career came in 1809 when he was captured by a band of Blackfeet while trapping near Three Forks, Montana. After killing his partner, the Indians stripped Coulter naked, gave him a brief head start, and then chased after him as though he was wild game, ignoring the rocks and cactus that were shredding his feet. Coulter supposedly outran most of the warriors before disarming his closest pursuer and killing him with his own lance. The mountain man then staggered into a fort several days later. Having tracked over 200 miles, clothed only in a blanket, he would go on to participate in more trapping missions and have even more run-ins with the Blackfeet, before finally retiring to a Missouri farm in 1810. Alright, now our next mountain man is Jim Bridger. In 1822, 18-year-old Jim Bridger joined up with the Rocky Mountain Fur Company on a trapping expedition along the Missouri River. The journey marked the beginning of his 45-year career. The song saw him discover new routes across the frontier, survive an arrow wound to the back, marry 3 different Indian wives, and found a trading fort on the Oregon Trail. Bridger's travels took all the way from the Canadian border to southern Colorado. He made one of the earliest excursions to Yellowstone region and famously became the first Anglo-American to see the Great Salt Lake. Upon testing its briny waters, he incorrectly concluded that it was part of the Pacific Ocean. After the decline of the fur trade, Bridgers reinvented himself. As a trader and a wilderness guide, he helped blaze Bridgers Pass and Bridgers Trail, both of which were well traveled by pioneers and gold seekers, and later worked as a scout for the U.S. Army. Health problems eventually forced old Gabe Bridgers to retire in the late 1860s. But by then, his frontier exploits and endless supply of tall tales had established him among the greatest of mountain men. One historian even labeled him a walking atlas of the West. This is where our stories end. I hope all of you have a good high noon.